Hello everyone, it's December 30th, 2014. It's Tuesday. It's Harp Tuesday. Again, this is actually the second of a special 2-episode Harp Tuesday to close out 2014. And here I'm going to finally finish my look at Handel's Concerto for Harp, the Grandjany edition. And I'm going to finish by looking at the Cadenza. So this is, to my mind, the main reason to play this edition, because it's a wonderful cadenza. It's fantastic cadenza. So much fun to play. So let's talk about a few things in it. So it starts out, of course, with this great and of course that's all got to be really even and pretty loud at times. Also got to be really clean, and I'm definitely thinking about, approaching in from above. And so this is not too bad because these are fairly short, small strings that be. But now I have to come in here when these strings are ringing, remembering to delay that E natural until I've placed, so that just so I don't hear it getting changed. And here actually delaying placing the end of these notes because they're still ringing. And I'm slowing down a little bit. And again, there's not a huge amount of indication. Like he starts you slow and then he moves into 30-second notes, but I don't think I don't think it should be played. In other words, at 16ths moving into 30s, suddenly twice as fast. I think instead it's a feeling of getting gradually faster, and then to me, slowing down a little bit here is a natural little bit of a pause. And again, that's somewhat indicated by the fact that now we're back to 16ths briefly. And here, really trying to get those to sound. Some nice weight there, and then we actually do have our fermata indicated here. Take some time, we start again. And again, think about cleanness. You're waiting to the last minute to play that G, right? Which is ring. Finishing it off nicely, and some big chords. And to me, this last one, I don't see it as being fast and furious finish. Like before, we've had a couple where we want to be really loud and pretty fast. This last one, I actually end up taking quite a bit of time there. And it's winding down. I probably muffle after the first chord here. Giving yourself lots of time to hear. Again, so that section up until here is very free. And again, it's maybe not totally typical of a Baroque period piece, but in this case I think we want to think that freedom of being able to stretch, get faster and more excited, and then just stretch and hold on, wait a minute, all more stuff, and just a very, rather than a rhythmic, it's more of a breathing, right? That it's not as if there's no sense to what's happening, but it's not that tick, tick, tick. It's more a natural rise and fall of breath. So exciting start to it. And then it winds down, and then we get this little thing. And here is what I think is actually one of the hardest spots in this, and it is this little up 3 times in a row, and it's so easy for this not to be super clean, and yet we need that to set us up for what's happening. Anyway, to me, that's always just a little bit of, I got this one shot at that, and you know, hoping that is as clean as I want it. And this little section is fun, right? And again here, setting this up. Slow down a little bit. I'm never quite sure how much I want to slow down at the end there, because I'm going to take a fairly fast tempo once we get to the 3/4. So playing around with what you want to do there. You can slow it down quite a bit, and if you want to take a slower tempo here, you'll have to set that up then ahead of time from the you know, that works quite nicely. This is of course great practice for descending scales. And trying to be clean in some of this stuff here with a left hand. You'll see some fingerings there. That works pretty well. This. So we have to jump up here. And here on this, I really think about raising that left hand up so that I'm really falling down here, so that I'm approaching actually from behind and like in front, I guess, and above, so that I won't buzz. This is a great spot right hand workout. We get that whole section that is repeated. It's much easier to do the downward scales, right, than the upwards. Etc., etc. I love this little. And again, just being aware of being really clean. Now, in here, then, same as when we start this 3/4, being aware of the tune, right? And in this case, I think being aware of the left hand. Sorry. And it's not like here, I think it's the tune. Here it's maybe less the tune and more accompaniment, but it's really interesting. I think we want to bring that out as well as having that right hand zooming along. And then we get so that's really satisfying to play. That's great fun. And a nice sorry, that I just changed that D. It's a little out of tune still. And again here you'll notice the way he's written it, I think it implies that we get to start slow and get faster and faster as we go up that arpeggio. And then maybe have a moment, you know, mini fermata, a little bit of a breath. We go, sorry again for that tune. And then and here, so I want a feeling of intensity, right? It's kind of scary almost, but it's not super fast yet, right? So we're holding back a little bit. Sorry. And especially like at the end there, you know, he's got those pressure marks, a little bit extra weight, and it's it's not necessarily a fermata, but it's just like we got a little bit of extra time on these. Sorry, and here, you know, this third bar, last bar of that line, we maybe start a little bit slower and get a little bit more intense, and then let's see. And slow down a little bit, so it's got that sense of getting faster, getting back a little bit, and then when we start this, that's where we kind of take off. We can spend like half a bar or something kind of getting set, but it should definitely start faster, and we really get to show off here, and definitely concentrate on that left hand. Oh, whatever it is. Maybe not so much on the chords, but you know what I mean. This. A lot of fun to play. This section, again, just being aware of trying to get that left hand in on these big chords without buzzing. Here, if you want, you could come up and take some of these notes in the left hand. You know, and he's got a decrescendo mark there. I think this isn't a showing off scale. This is kind of a we're backing off, delicate little scale coming up, and then we get this little. You know, he's got a marked pianissimo, and I like that. Like, don't start too soon to get intense again. It's intense, but it's quiet. Sorry, whatever. Don't know why I'm having trouble here. Anyway, sorry, mucking this up. I haven't actually practiced this last while. But the right hand should have gotten louder earlier. But again, that idea that it starts quietly and then gets more and more excited, and by the time we get to, it's really powerful. And this is perhaps the most, or certainly again one of the most difficult spots in the cadenza, because we're constantly changing the right hand shape as we come up. So that it just requires a lot of practice, right, to try to get that as loud and as even and as fast as possible. So we finish that, and then we get, you know, that, as he says, I don't know, I guess, yeah, to me, I definitely want to have some extra weight here. We've just finished it. Again, that attitude note. A little bit of extra weight on those, and then we get. And for me, I know this little section. It always feels like I'm playing it faster than it sounds when I listen back to myself. So I think that's a spot to really push yourself on these. Because when I listen to myself, I like it at that faster tempo, but it's hard, right? And I sometimes have a tendency to take it at a slightly slower tempo and think it still sounds fast, and yet it doesn't. It's kind of the final chance to show off, right? In this cadenza, it's like, here it is, and then we get out of that. Well, one more than whatever. fast notes, so just make sure that you're able to give yourself time on those. And then here we come back in with the end of the third movement. 3, 1, 2, and 3, and etc. So there you have it. Hopefully, so again, like in terms of working on this, I would say the biggest tip I can give you is thinking about avoiding buzzing, right? Like approaching from above, just trying to play it as clean as possible. Practicing, practicing this nice and slow to work on the speed on that hard sort of scale section all across page, the bottom of page 10 and all 11. And having fun with this, right? Like going ahead, seeing how fast this that little thing can go and all that. So yeah, it's a great cadenza. So there you have it, the very last Harp Tuesday episode of 2014, and I will see you in 2015. Cheers.